Hello, everyone, and thank you for attending the Resource Employment Solutions Virtual Job Fair event. I would like to introduce you to Wendy. Wendy will tell you about her company, job openings, and how to apply for those openings. Wendy.
Hello, good morning, everyone. My name is Wendy Quintana. I'm a recruiter at Resource Employment Solutions. Our main office is located by Archer and Cicero. If you want, I can leave the address later on, or you can give us a call at the number 773-912-6210. We're open Monday to Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. We offer general job positions. We have different positions in different suburbs, such as Bedford Park, Bridgeview, Frankfort, Franklin Park, Elk Grove Village, Romeoville, Bolingbrook. All of these positions are general labor temp to hire, and the pay rate varies from position to position. So if you start as a packer, it might be $15 an hour. If you go to forklift driver, it might be 17 to 18, depending on the shift also. And like I said, all these positions are temp to hire. So after 90 days, you can apply directly through the company, and you'll be able to receive more benefits. So we do offer different positions in general labor, such as packing, material handlers, palletizers, forklift drivers, machine operators, extrusion operators. We also have other positions in other states if you plan to move somewhere else. But if you have any other questions, you can let me know.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that, Wendy. And Wendy, I do have a few questions that I'd like to ask you. Just real briefly to give a little bit more background and context to some of the positions that you do have available, if that's okay.
Yes, go ahead.
Excellent. Wendy, how long does the hiring process typically take from the point of submitting an application to actually being extended that official offer for hire? What's the turnaround time generally?
Okay, so let's say the employee comes to apply today. We give him the orientation, the application, which is about an hour and a half. After this, we process the application, we submit the background check, E-Verify, and the drug test. This takes about 2 to 3 days. After everything's processed and everything is clear, then we send the employee to the facility to start working. So it probably takes about 3 days so they can start working.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Wendy. And Wendy, for anything, as far as the positions that you covered here today, are there any minimum educational requirements that people should know about for any of the ones that you covered today?
No, basically, as long as they have enough experience, like for packing positions, we don't require any education because it's basically just packing line assembly. But for the operators, machine operators, quality control, they do require more experience, at least a year. For forklift driving, they do require a minimum of a year or to be certified.
Excellent. Thank you, Wendy. And Wendy, I do have another question for you too. Can you kind of elaborate maybe a little bit more on your shift structure? If you do operate multiple shifts, what time do those start and end? And then building off that question too, are there any shifts in particular that you're looking to hire for more than others?
Yes, so actually most of our shifts are 12-hour shifts. So this means the employee will work either in the morning from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And this is a rotating shift. This means that employee will work 5 days one week for the other, but it is always 40 hours a week. So let's say today's Monday and the employee starts today. The employee will start working Monday and Tuesday. They will be off Wednesday and Thursday and come back Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. For the following week, they will be off Monday and Tuesday, work Wednesday and Thursday, and be off the weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But since payroll goes in on Saturdays, half of Saturday goes to 1 week and half of the rest of the Saturday goes to the next week. That makes 40 hours each week. So basically that's the shifts that we're hiring most for, the 12-hour shifts. So employees have to be able to work 1 weekend on and 1 weekend off.
Understood. Thank you for that, Wendy. And Wendy, another question that I do have for you is how often does your organization post new jobs? So let's say somebody applies for a job and for whatever reason they're not qualified or something else comes up, they're not extended the offer for hire this time, but they're interested in future employment opportunities. How often do you typically post jobs?
We do it mostly every week because there's a lot of job opportunities right now. So if they come in this week, they'll be starting for sure next week. If for some reason we don't send them the following week, they can we can send them the following week. It's like every week we post the jobs.
Excellent. Thank you for that, Wendy. And I do want to take a brief pause and just give people who are on the call an opportunity to ask questions of the Resource Employment Solutions team. So if you do have any questions regarding any of the information that was covered here today, please feel free to throw your message into the chat and we'll make sure to get an answer for you as soon as possible. Wendy, while we're waiting for people to enter any questions that they might have into the chat, we'll go on with a few more questions that I do have for you. Wendy, how can a candidate, excuse me, stand out and get an interview, assuming they're qualified for the position that they're applying for? Is there anything that you would suggest people, highlight in a resume, mention to you, maybe when you have that first conversation with them, anything like that that might be helpful?
Yes, we basically, if they're applying for skill positions like machine operator or forklift driver, make sure to let us know that how many years you have experience and what kind of machines you operate or what kind of forklift you operate. And we always look for people that have reliable transportation to the job site, because we've had some employees before that unfortunately do not have reliable transportation and they miss the first day. So that's one of the important things, and that they're willing to work under fast-paced environment and that are fast learners. But for general labor, we don't, as long as they want to work, we hire them right away.
Understood. Thank you for that, Wendy. And Wendy, another question that I do have for you while we're waiting for folks to enter any questions that they might have into the chat. That is kind of the whole reason why we're here, and that is, COVID-19. What are some of the safety precautions, maybe, or the policies and procedures that Resource Employment, has in place for folks that are coming to work? I know we're starting to get on the other side of the pandemic, but I know there's a lot of folks that still worry about that coming back to work.
Yes, right now we're still being very precautious, so we're maintaining distance. We're at the companies, they're having their orientations in different rooms. They're taking temperature before they start. They have to fill out paperwork to answer some questions to make sure they haven't been out of the country or if they have had contact with somebody that has COVID before. So they're being very, very precautious at the job sites. That's basically, and we're still wearing the face masks.
Excellent. Thank you for that, Wendy. And Wendy, you might have touched upon this briefly during your presentation, but I just wanted to give you another opportunity maybe to elaborate a little bit more. If Resource Employment does offer benefits to its employees, you kind of give folks an idea as to what some of those benefits might be.
Yes, so since we are a temp agency, we do offer after a year the employee has been working with us. We have holiday pay, that's 4 holidays per year. We also have vacation pay, and that's after the employee has been with us for 2 years. We do offer medical insurance after a month the employee has been working with us, so they can sign up for that right away.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Wendy. And Wendy, another question that I do have for you is one that I get actually on a lot of the events that I do host, and that is, would minor misdemeanors, minor offenses, things like that, would those be disqualifying factors for employment? So I guess a better way of putting it would be, would you consider your organization or the ones you represent to be second chance employers?
You know what, for that, we do send a background to our corporate office and they go back 7 years back. For misdemeanors, I don't think it's gonna be a big issue because we had some employees with that and they've been able to work. But it depends what comes back with the background check.
Understood. Thank you for that, Wendy. And I just do want to pause here again briefly and allow anybody that joined the session to ask any questions that they have of the Resource Employment Solutions team. If you do have any questions for Wendy, please feel free to drop those into the chat and we'll make sure to get those questions answered for you. You can also unmute yourself as well and ask your question if you would like. Again, just want to give you the opportunity to be able to ask any questions of the employer reps that you have. In the meantime, Wendy, while we're waiting for any questions that might come up, I do have a few more questions for you before we kind of start wrapping things up today. The question that I have for you, Wendy, is one that I like to ask on all my events, and that's just to give potential job seekers an opportunity to see what Resource Employment Solutions might have to offer in the long term. Question for you is, what are the opportunities for advancement? And are there any maybe success stories that you'd like to share with job seekers who are on the call?
Yes, actually, we had some employees that have started as general labor packing in the warehouses, and they haven't had any previous experience with a machine operator or supervising or anything like that. And they have learned as much as they can, and now they're actually warehouse supervisors or they're machine operators. So there is space to advance in the company as long as the employee is willing to learn. And we do offer every opportunity available to everybody.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that, Wendy. And Wendy, something that I would also like to do before we kind of begin the wrap up here is if job seekers do have any questions for you during the application process, or maybe any questions regarding any information that was covered here today, but they don't maybe want to ask the question in this format, what would be the best way they could go about getting their questions answered? Is there a email that they could reach out to, phone number? I know you mentioned at the beginning of your presentation, but perhaps if you could throw that information in the chat as well, that would be helpful.
Yes, you can actually, everybody can reach me at our office number, which is 773-912-6210, or my email, which is wendy.quintana, Quinta, @resourceemployment.com. And our office is located at 5444 South Archer Avenue, Chicago, Illinois, 60638. And we're open Monday to Friday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. You can stop by our office anytime.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Wendy. And again, I want to take a brief pause here. And for anybody that's on the call that'd like to ask any questions of Wendy or the other members of the Resource Employment Solutions team, you can absolutely throw your question into the chat and we'll make sure to ask it for you, or you can unmute yourself and ask your question as well. Wendy, while we're waiting for any maybe final questions that might come in for today's session, I do want to turn things back over to you to give you an opportunity to give any concluding statements or remarks that you'd like to make. Regarding today's session, you can highlight something that maybe you gave in your presentation or maybe that we discussed about, or if there's something that maybe you feel that you might have overlooked or accidentally left out, you can absolutely include that in your remarks as well. But I'll go ahead and give you an opportunity to do so now.
Okay, so I would like to thank everybody for their time. And like I said, once again, if you have any questions, please feel free to contact us. And we do have many opportunities right now for if you have any experience, like I said, if you want just general labor, machine operating, QC, any kind of a position you're interested in. And if you don't live in Chicago, we do offer other places in other suburbs. So please contact us. We'll be here to help. Also, if you're not able to come to the office to do the application, you can do the application online at resourceemployment.com and we can walk you through it. So just let us know if you're not able to come to the office. We can help you with the application online. And thank you once again.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that, Wendy. Again, just a last call. If you do have any questions that you'd like to ask the folks that are here on behalf of Resource Employment Solutions, you can go ahead and do so now. If not, again, I just want to let folks know we have recorded today's session. So if you did perhaps join the session late, or maybe there's just something that you'd like to review from the information that was covered here today, I will be uploading the recording of this session to the Illinois WorkNet YouTube channel later this afternoon. So of course, you can go back there and review anything that was covered here today. That link will also be posted on the virtual job fair booth that you see on your screen there as well. So you can also look on this page for the link to that recording as well. Wendy, I'd like to thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to meet with us today and cover all the information that you have about a lot of these great opportunities that you have available. And to the job seekers that did join and are tuning in from other means, thank you for joining us as well today. We hope you all have a wonderful and great rest of your day. Wendy, thank you so much.
Thank you, Daniel. Have a great day as well, everybody. Thank you.